Good evening, everybody. Matrix here, and here is my trade recap for February 1st. Okay, so today I did make quite a few trades, but there's one that really stood out, and that was Amazon. Okay, I really wanted to make a recap of this trade, both for all the viewers out there and for myself as well, once I review it in the near future and watch it, because I do believe there was a lesson to be learned here for myself. Now, uh, I would title today's trade recap as sticking to your plan and trusting the process. All right. So as you can see, here is that one trade I took on Amazon today. My entry time, I shorted 10 shares at 12.1910, and my buy to cover time was the same 10 shares at 13 1:45 1:46 p.m. So as you can see, it was just an in and out. There were no partials taken or anything. Basically, what happened was I took this trade, sat around for a few more minutes, and then once the trade started to give me some sort of conviction, I set the bracket order, set my stop loss, and just left for lunch. Okay, so let's get into the trade. So very first thing, very important, if you did not watch my nightly watch list last night, Amazon was on my main watch for today, and I called it last night for the stock to pop back up and test the high of this green candle before it failed. Now, obviously, it didn't reach there, but it got pretty damn close. Right? And I called that level out. I also called out that the action would be a fade all day and essentially bringing back closing at this bottom candle as well right here. So if you haven't watched my nightly watch list last night, go ahead and go through my videos, check that watch list from last night, and let's get into the trade. So obviously with the thesis planned out, here's the thing. I didn't get in here at the top here. They're looking back at this right now. They're really, I really can't justify it. I don't really see an entry here, right? I do see this candle happen, right? It was a massive doji candle and then a big wick selling off here, and essentially it did look pretty weak, right? But if you think about it this way, look at this candle, same thing. And it did have good volume. It did look weak, but the next candle, it popped up and over. And I was waiting for this mark. I was waiting for this mark to hit, but it never reached. And when this candle dumped, it was basically too chasey, in my opinion, to get in. All right. So if I am to get in on this trade, which was highly improbable. It's just not my type of entry here. If I'm marking at the entry point, I would wait for this red candle to snap the previous green candle, okay? And that would make my entry around the 1667 area, okay? So had I entered here, my stop would have been a little bit above. I would have gave it to the 1675. Okay, so essentially we are looking at what? The 67 to 75, 8 points. So 8 points is quite a lot of a stop. It's a little bit too wide in my opinion, or to my liking. I mean, even up to the highs here, to the 1673, you are looking at what? 6 points. Right? 67 to 73. Yeah, 6 points. And of course, you need to give it some wiggle room. What if it pops through, fakes you out, and dump back up? So this is the correct stop, in my opinion. However, 8 points is a little wide. So I never got into this trade. Okay. And as you can see, it basically didn't really give me an entry. Perhaps on this candle, when it topped out, yes, we have like a slight, very, very interim support here that just snapped. right, for the past these 3 minutes that just snapped, and you might have gotten in here and risk a little bit above here, but that would have been too tight in my opinion. So looking overall at this trade, there there really wasn't an optimal entry, so hence I didn't take this trade right here. Now I'm going to zoom out a little bit on this 1 minute chart, and let's take a look. So once I missed this entry, I was just I missed this dump. I was just waiting for a chance to get back in, and I was praying to the gods that it will actually come back up, set a lower high or a double top to give me an entry to get back in, but it never did. It literally never did. And when it came down here and tagged the VWAP and rejected, I thought about it. I really did thought about it. But looking at this, I didn't take. It's because the stock has came down so much already, right? And I'm looking at the prior move from before, from the open, from the bottom to here, coming up. This stock has came down so much and basically retraced over 50% of its up move. Taking it as a short right here and trying to get it all the way back down is a little bit too early in my opinion. It was just 10 o'clock, right? I don't expect the thing to go up one stroke and then down another. I do expect to pop back up. That's why I didn't take this trade right here. And as you can see, it held the 200 SMA as 200 EMA as well, right? So the 200 EMA played a big part in my trade here today, as it came back up, and I was watching this. I was literally sitting and just watching and waiting for some sort of an entry here, because Amazon, I really wanted to get in on it. I know Amazon has the ability to range hard and range large. Hey, but I mean, looking at this chart, it never really gave me a chance. Look at how choppy it is. Went under VWAP, above VWAP, under VWAP, above VWAP, under VWAP, above VWAP, right? Some could say you might be able to take this lower high here, right here, right? You might be able to take it. Yes, we did have some sort of support here at a very key psychological whole number of 1655. I did mark that off in my trade as it popped through, came down, popped through again, and I noticed this area, held it down, and then it failed again. I wouldn't have took it here. If I were to take this lower high, I would have took it around this area. Okay, so around the 53 area, and my risk would have to be, wow, above the previous high, right? So still a lot. Or I could have risked here at the 56 area, but 53, 56, that's pretty nice. That's like a 3-point risk, right? Nonetheless, as far as my reward goes, I was going to bring it down to, I wanted to bring it down to the low here, but I also saw that it held the 200 EMA here. So I was thinking, okay, it held the 200 EMA, and this 200 EMA was pretty strong. I also marked off this trend line, right? So I didn't take the trade here either. So I was still waiting for that perfect entry, right? And watching, waiting, and then this is what happened, right? Let me zoom out real quick. Eventually, I waited until this area. Finally, I'm like, okay, I can't wait any longer. I'm losing patience. I've drawn out some sort of a trend line. I drew this line here, right? I also drew this line right here, okay? Yeah, I drew this line right here as I was watching it. I saw some sort of a basing action around this area as well. Okay, and I actually had it mapped up around this area. Yeah, I saw some sort of basing action around this area, so I saw that, and then I drew the horizontal line across, and I was watching it right here. Yeah, this was the line, I think. See, yeah, some sort of resistance right over here. I was looking at the pre-market highs as well. Okay, here's the pre-market highs I was looking at. Let's change the color here real quick. Purple. Cool. So I was looking at the pre-market highs. I had that mapped off, and I was watching it dump. Eventually, here comes the entry. As this support snapped, I took the trade because I lost patience. I saw it finally came down on the VWAP, and I took the trade. Okay, I lost patience, and I took the trade chasing it down. This was the candle right here. And my stop was set a little bit above VWAP. So I was thinking, at first I was thinking right about here. And then I thought it was too tight because pre-market high was just a little bit above. So I mentally moved it up a little bit and I saw this area. So I put it right around here, the 150, 120s area. Okay. Here's my stop. I'm actually going to change that color to red so you can remember it. So that's my stop. Okay. So ideally, my entry was 1647, and my stop was right around here at 1651, 4 points on 10 shares. That would mean that I would lose $40 to $50 on this trade. And my goal was to bring it down to today's low, right about here. Okay, that's my goal. Okay. Actually, I wanted this, but I essentially took it off at the 30s mark. Now, I'll tell you why. So looking at this trade, as I was watching it, sorry, zoom back in here. As I got into this trade, I was watching it. I saw it reject the VWAP a few times, and after this here, this 2 times where it rejected the VWAP and it started failing, I was convinced that this would fail. I was so convinced that at this time, I basically set a bracket order, or what TFS call a range order, and I set my stop and I set my exit and I just walked away. Okay, I was thinking to myself, okay, I'll either lose $40 or I can stand to gain all the way down here 20 points. Okay, at first I was thinking 20 points because the low was at 1627, but then I was thinking, okay, maybe it couldn't test the low. Maybe I should just set it at like a whole number near the lows. Okay, so I was content with 17 point target. Okay, my risk was 4 points, and that would give me a little bit closer to 41. So I basically just set the automatic stop and I went out to lunch. And as I was having lunch, I saw it come down and come down. Eventually it hit. By the time I got home, it was around here already. So that's fine. So that was the trade. Okay. As you can see, it faded even more. Had I been here to monitor it, I might be able to capture another 5 points, maybe. Okay, but this is really pushing it. I took pretty much the bulk of it, right? Now, as to how I came about with this thesis, uh, there were a lot of different ingredients that made me take this trade and came about to the thesis why I had so much conviction in this. And I'm not actually going to explain it in this video right now because a lot of it has to do with psychology that Trick teaches. Okay. And it's very unfair of me to give away what he teaches and what he actually does in the chat room day in, day out. So that's pretty unfair to him. I'm not going to give that away. I just want to show you the trade. Getting out of trades too early has always been a big problem of mine, and not being able to hold for the long run has also been a big problem of mine. So today I decided, once I saw the opportunity to either lose 40 bucks, 40, 50 bucks, or gain 17 points, $170, I just took it and I'm like, you know what, fuck it, right? $40. Let's do it. So I did it, and this is what happened. Okay, $170 while I'm out having lunch. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed what you watch. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. If you're interested in how I actually made this trade psychologically and all the ingredients that added in to this trade, um, please do consider joining me in the chat room at Trick Trades and becoming a member and learn from Trick, because it's because of him I was able to take this trade, and I see him take these type of trades day in, day out. I mean, riding trades down for massive points. 17 points is really nothing. For me personally, it's actually, I think, one of the biggest I've rode before. I think I've done a 20-point game before, right? But today was a pretty big day on full size, fully convicted in my trade, and just took it down 17 points. So yeah, if you want to take a look at what goes on in Trick Trades, make sure you check out my video link descriptions. Okay, there is a discount code in there for members, for people who want to sign up. You'll get 20% off your first month, and trust me, if you give Trick a few months, if you are struggling trader or newer beginning trader, if you give Trick a few months, we at Trick Trades, everybody, I mean everybody, all the moderators, Trick, everybody, the entire community will make sure that you get the best out of it. Nobody gets left behind. All right. So thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next trade recap. Ciao.